at this point, with everything that Activision Blizzard has done over the recent years, I'm not surprised anymore when they pull off some stupid, absolute ridiculous bullshit. But hey guys, welcome back to the channel. And today I wanted to talk about the new story going on about, once again, Activision fucks over gamers. And I know plenty of other YouTubers have covered this story, but I wanted to give my 2 cents into the game, at least. The fact is, physical copies of Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 Remake, or whatever it is, only have 72.23 megabytes of data on the disc. Now, a game like Call of Duty, which can be upwards of over 100 gigs of data, you look at that and there's no way there's any substantial amount of content on the disc. You would be right. In fact, there is nothing on the disc. It is essentially a downloader key for you to download the rest of the game, which I believe is about 130 or 150 gigs of data. So at that point, what is the purpose of a physical disc? There's no reason to have a physical disc, because if, say, you don't have internet and you just want to buy the game for its campaign, which there are people out there that just don't have internet, they don't give a shit about the Call of Duty multiplayer, they just want to play the campaign. And you go home, you pop in the disc and find out, oh, there's nothing on the disc. You have to download the rest of the game. So once again, there is no point in getting a physical disc, which is a giant slap in the face to people like myself who prefer physical media over digital. And I know the industry has been really pushing for digital games in the last few years. And to be honest, I will fight that tooth and nail to the day I die. And to anyone that loves their digital media, that is awesome. I'm not trying to take that away from you, because there are people that just, their lifestyle, they prefer digital. It makes sense in a lot of ways. The digital content's always there. You don't have to pop in a cartridge or a CD. So I totally get that. But for people like myself who really don't care that we have to, get up, pop in a new disc or cartridge, we want that physical component to it, because if for some reason, and this has happened in the past, where a digital-only game is removed from the storefront, even though you bought it, even though you put money into it, it's just gone. And when it's gone, you can't get it back. My favorite example of this is the Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, the game, that side-scroller beat-em-up from years ago. I love that game, and I put so much money into it. I bought all the DLC, I bought it on a couple different consoles, so I could play it wherever I wanted to. And then when they removed it from the storefront because they lost the license to it, because I did not have it currently downloaded onto my system, it was gone. I couldn't re-download it, I couldn't play it for years. So when they re-released the game and gave an option for a physical disc or cartridge for it, you better believe I absolutely got my physical copy. I got it digitally from my Switch, and I got a physical copy from my PS4. Other games like PT, the playable teaser for the new Silent Hills game that unfortunately never came about, that was removed from the store once Konami decided they were canceling the entire game. An amazing game was just gone. And Activision Blizzard has absolutely been pushing for this full digital future with recent releases over the couple of years. Obviously, the Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 issue is just ridiculous. Making a physical game which serves no purpose other than to act as a downloader key for the game. It makes no sense. As well as they were trying to incentivize people to buy the game digitally so they can get the game a little bit earlier. Beyond that, you had Diablo 2 Resurrected, which was a remaster of, or I guess a remake of the old school Diablo 2 game, but they only released it as a digital option. Unlike Diablo 3, where they released it on every console, they did not have an option, or did not give an option, for a physical version, which I was very adamant when it first came out. I was like, I'm not buying this game until you release a physical copy. they still have not done that, which I think is absolutely insane. You had Spyro, the Spyro trilogy, which originally only had, as far as I know, this is still the factor to this day, it was only the first Spyro game actually on the disc, while the rest of the three games, I should say, Spyro 2 and Spyro 3, were download only. Like I said in the beginning of this video, if you love your media all digital, that's fantastic, great for you. But companies should not be allowed to take away our option to buy the game physically. And I get it, there are people listening to this like, you can't tell a company what to do. You know, that's true. But then you run the risk of those people that only buy physical media, they're just going to stop buying your games. What's the point of buying something when I do not own it? When you buy a digital game, you really don't own that game. You own a license to access said game. But when that game is removed from the Play Store for whatever reason, you don't have access to that game anymore. All the money you put into it, gone. Just like a game I really enjoyed, Battleborn. Even though I bought a physical disc of it, the game was online only. Even though it had a single player campaign, it was all online only. So when that game was shut down, my disc became useless. Another reason I really don't buy digital media is that digital media is overpriced. There's a reason why physical games for the longest time were costing $60, at retail, at retail stores, because they had to pay for the boxes, the cover art, the manuals, the shipping. But over years, you've noticed that really physical games have come with less and less physical content. Game manuals haven't been a thing for a long time. Box art is incredibly cheap, and it's just, I understand why they have to pay for all that. But with digital media, they don't have to pay for all that. So why am I paying $60 for a digital game when I could spend $60 on a physical copy and get a game disc with that game on it? And it's not just Activision. Hell, Halo Infinite doesn't have the game on the disc. It essentially, once again, acts as a download code. As a key code, or whatever it is, a download key to get the game on your Xbox. And for people who don't have unlimited internet, downloading 150 gigabytes, per se for the Modern Warfare 2 remake, that's not possible for them. And maybe I'm an old man screaming up at the clouds like that old saying is, but why can't we have both? Why can't we just have physical media for those who want to have it and digital media for those who prefer digital? But when you force us into one direction, that's where a lot of people will draw the line and be like, no, I did not choose this way, so I don't want to do it. And in recent years, I guess not even recent years, just recently I've noticed that so many games I do really want to play and want to buy don't have an option for physical media, or that the game isn't actually on the disc. Ubisoft does it, EA does it, all these companies. Nintendo is a big one with their Switch cartridges, where, hey, you want to buy the game for Switch? Cool. This multi-game pack, only one of them comes on the cartridge, while the rest are download only. The Borderlands games, the Resident Evil Revelations games, Resident Evil Chronicles or Zero Pack, on Switch, all the same way. And overall, I know I can go on, I could rant about this for hours, but the main thing that, the start of this whole thing, and maybe want to actually, do this video, is the fact that the Modern Warfare 2 game, I was thinking about getting it. I'm not a huge Call of Duty fan, but it looked cool. I had fun playing the beta. But as soon as I found out the disc doesn't have any content on there, nope, I'm not buying it. And another thing about physical media being superior to digital media is that most physical media goes on sale quite regularly. And once a game's been out for a good couple years, it's more than likely less than $20 for the whole game, while digital media still retains its full retail price on the marketplace. Please, I would love anyone to please justify why the game on the digital marketplace, a game that's 5 or 6 years old, is still $60, while I can go get a physical copy for like 20, sometimes maybe less than $10. At the end of the day, no matter how much I complain or other people like me complain, we are pushing towards an all-digital future, and that terrifies me. I want to own my games. I want to be able to look at hold a box and just look at it and be like, this is my game. I own it. Instead of a company being like, well, we don't want to pay to have this game on the storefront anymore, so now it's gone. But one thing that can fix all this is that companies need to give us the rights to that product. If it's digital, we own it. And I know the government need to make better laws when it comes to digital goods like movies, music, games, all of that stuff. But at the end of the day, this is just my personal opinion. Let me know in the comments down below what you personally think. Until the next video, take care.